what's happening, Premier Guitar? Joel Hoekstra from Whitesnake and Trans-Siberian Orchestra here. Going to take you back to the early days today and talk about the riff that made me want to start guitar. And actually, it wasn't You Shook Me All Night Long. It just happens to be the solo that I'm relatively on top of here off the top of my head. But actually, the riff was... That riff just got me going, and seeing Angus Young and all his cool energy and stage presence, and of course his awesome playing, just made me want to get a guitar. So I hit my parents up, and they were classical musicians. I think they thought, yeah, great, Segovia or something, but I had a different plan in store, which I think they figured out relatively soon when I put the home stereo all the way up on 10 and started freaking out the whole neighborhood, playing Paranoid as horribly as I probably was at the time. But I remember going to the mall with my mom to get my first electric guitar, and I think I picked out my first guitar thinking it reminded me of Angus's SG. I didn't know enough to like research the model and everything back then. I was only 11, so I remember seeing this Electro Westone in the case that was like bright red, but it had the curves and I guess slightly resembled an SG in my mind, in my 11-year-old mind. And so that ended up being my first guitar. And that was really all just due to Angus Young and AC/DC and their influence on me. And that whole record, really Back in Black, and I should call it a cassette because that's what it was for me. It was definitely a cassette. I loved so many of the riffs on there. I mean, you can't beat... And of course, let's see. Right? And of course, right? So great album to grow up on as a kid. Just love those songs. Still do. Still think it's possibly the greatest hard rock album of all time. There's not a bad song on it. So anyway, there's my story. And Back in Black was really the riff that got me going. Although the first one I learned was Paranoid. Little trivia from my teacher taught me the riff to Paranoid. Anyway, there you go. Hope you guys have a great one out there in Premier Guitar Land. Rock on. Let's make 2021 a great year. Hopefully we can get the world opened up and get back out there and rock out together. All right, cheers. Catch you guys soon.